Arts Commission meeting of Thursday, July 23rd. And we'll first take a little roll call, starting at the end here.
Brittany Harper, present.
Shan Willoughby, present.
Angela Zagora, present.
Kelsey Tenney, present.
And next, we will approve the minutes for the May meeting because we did not have a June meeting. So you should have received those before the June meeting was originally scheduled. So can I have a motion to approve the May minutes?
Motion to approve the May 2026 meeting minutes.
Thank you, Brittany. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Kelsey. We vote, right? So now we're going to, everyone, how do I say this again?
Say if there's any discussion,
Any discussion of the May minutes? No?
then just all in favor.
All in favor, raise your right hand. All good? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, next we would like to, how do we want to do this, Tanisha, since Grace isn't here?
Just do your little recommendation, right?
Oh, but I mean, do we want to leave Wild Aster? Are you Wild Aster? Any of you Wild Aster?
You're all San Matcha.
San Matcha? Oh, sorry.
Who are you with?
And
Are you with the
Who are you
Wild Aster mural grant application? No, just
Or are you
you're
just
just
here?
hanging
Just
here?
public
You're just
hanging-
here?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, got it. Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Okay. Sorry to put you on the spot. Okay, good. So,
So we can just move up San Matcha if you want.
okay,
Yeah.
that sounds good. So is there any objection to moving point A under new business, the San Matcha mural and mural grant application? Is there any objection to moving that up in the agenda to now? Is everybody okay with that? Okay, great. So if no one objects, if no one objects, by unanimous consent, we will move that point up to before the liaison report. Thank you.
Okay, I will talk to this one. So the San Matcha, am I saying that correctly, guys? Yeah. San Matcha, okay. Okay. And this building, which I'll show you pictures of, is on Buford Highway, and it is in a qualified census tract. So they're looking for a unmatched mural grant and also asking that we approve the mural concept. They passed all the code and planning checks so far. The only outstanding items would be the landlord affidavit, and I would also need to check into to make sure that they're up to date on taxes within DeKalb County, but since it's a new business, it's likely that this would not have issues. This is the building. It has, I believe, 2 blank walls. This is the first blank wall. And there it is with the concept on it. And then this, if I'm not mistaken, is the other side of the building. And again, that's the concept.
Oh, sorry. So this is just a second concept, because this is the same wall that we saw earlier?
Yeah. Will you, do you mind
Yeah.
coming up to the,
Could you come up to the,
so
and
that the people
speak
at home
into the
can hear you?
microphone? That would be great.
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Phil Bian, and I own Kin Coffee Company. And then I recently just opened Sen by Kin. It's a matcha shop, sort of under the Kin family of businesses. And we obtained the building as is, kind of more like a honestly was kind of more like ivory greenish, and it was kind of ugly. So we repainted it white, and working with Andrew here, wanted to have like a white canvas basically for him to paint. And that was kind of the plan from the beginning.
Right.
And it's a matcha shop. I am Korean by, ethnicity, and then a lot of the people that work and, operate were all Asian American, and we wanted to have a very more like Asian themed kind of mural, kind of go along with Buford Highway kind of concept and kind of the historicity of the Buford Highway and all of that. I think it would be very fitting. And I mean, y'all seen Andrew's work all over town, and so we would love to work with him on this. And it's honestly, I think it's like a perfect spot, and the product, the concept, the location, I think all is such a good match for what we're trying to do. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that.
Yep, great, thank you. Is there anything else, Tanisha? Did you have any other?
Just questions that you might have for them. I have a question, but I'll let you guys go first.
I think I know your question. Is it, but you ask your question.
Okay.
You go ahead.
So my question was, you're asking for the 10K. Is that what you're spending for this? Andrew, are you okay with doing both sides like that for that amount? Okay. I just wasn't sure because, we do have this like project closeout where you say how much you spent. We don't mind if you spend more, but just so that you're aware that there is a little bit of, kind of bookkeeping on our end for that. And that was my only question. Oh, I guess also where it says sushi and matcha, is that your sign?
Yeah, so that's kind of based on older,
Yeah.
like what was kind of before. We are actually going to have a blade style sign, and I believe the permit is en route with the city right now. My sign guy just submitted the permit.
Great.
Not too long ago, and then it'll be a blade sign with just our logo as a circular sign. So it'll kind of stay out of the way for all the painting that we'll be doing. And then basically, if you look at it like this is like the public facing, and this is like the front of the building. The mural will come from the back and wrap around the building all the way to the front. And it'll be kind of one cohesive painting that will.
And that business that's on the left there,
All of that is removed. Yeah, that is no longer.
oh, that's not even there.
Sushi and matcha is not a thing anymore.
So this whole building is going to be yours? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we have plans to. So it was originally going to be a sushi and matcha, and I came in with the matcha idea with a friend of mine that was going to do the sushi part, but I basically bought him out and took over the whole space. And we're going to put a bake shop on. It's like a bakery / matcha shop, and that's going to be the whole main concept. And I think it will be the talk of the town. Seriously, with the mural and the quality of drinks that we're going to be bringing in, I think it's going to be a very, very hot spot. A lot of eyeballs for the which is great, right? This is what we want.
It's beautiful. The concept's beautiful. How, Andrew, how does murals on brick, is it a little more difficult to do the painting and the mural paint on brick? Do you have to do something special to prepare it?
I'd say it's really the rivets. So it's because you kind of just got to like get in the
Yeah.
cracks. But that's all I'd say, yeah.
Okay.
But right now, the whole building is basically covered in white.
Oh, okay, so the brick is even white now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And right now, the brick wall is not really a brick. It's more like a cinder block kind of wall. And then, I guess it is a brick wall still. But because it's already painted on white,
Yeah.
right, it'll be a lot easier for him to
Right. Yeah, definitely in on those little mortar things, that'll be easier.
And then in your plan, I know that we encourage the use of anti-graffiti coating on top. If you would consider that, we would appreciate it.
Just wanting to make sure, because I think Tanisha was getting at this, but I just want to make sure I'm understanding. So the proposal is to do both of these sides as pictured for the asking price, right? It's not like a either-or option, right?
Right.
Okay, just making sure I'm understanding, because we've got this brick side, and then there was the other brick side where we can see the, from the front.
Back a couple slides to one of the original, okay, so if you see the picture on the left side, basically that WDLM sign is going to be removed. And that top portion and then the sushi and matcha side on that basically connects to the big white wall you see on the right. So that's the entire area that we'll be painting. I think the rendering that you did with the brick, that was kind of like AI generated, so.
This one?
Not completely
Okay.
accurate, but we really only submitted that for the conceptual, because I think the tree actually looks better on this. The cherry blossom tree looks a little bit better on this one. But basically the idea is it will start all the way from the back with the big white wall, with a big cherry blossom tree, and then the branches going up over the top, over the windows, above the windows, I should say. And then it's going to wrap around to the front of the building where the WDLM sign is.
Okay. Can you go back one more, Tanisha, to that original building? Yeah.
So basically, all the way from that corner where the truck is, that big tree will come up, and then the branches will come up to where the sushi and matcha sign is.
Yeah.
It'll wrap around the building onto where WDLM sign is, and all
Okay.
of that will be covered in
Okay.
cherry blossom.
So kind of like
trees
an
and flowers and
L
branches.
shape.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So that's the extent of what we're asking for.
I got you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it just was a little unclear with the brick photo because it looked
Yeah.
like it was like a two sides
Yeah,
of
it's a
the
little
building.
confusing.
Okay, gotcha. And then I believe it was part of the application requirements that they include a plan for maintenance, right? And that was included?
Clarify what the points of maintenance is.
So just
Pressure washing?
a plan for maintaining the art, or if it degrades over time, like making sure that it just stays up to quality and doesn't degrade over time.
And I believe that the timeline is 5 years. So kind of, if there's issues, you're willing to call him back and say, hey, we got whatever it is.
Yeah, it
a
could be
chunk fell
graffiti,
off.
or it could just be degradation,
Yeah.
or fading, or whatever that might be. Okay, great.
Just a plan to keep it looking good. Well, it's beautiful.
Just out of curiosity, how long do you think it'll take for you to do the mural? We could probably do a week. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wow. Yeah, a lot quicker. Yeah, that changes things. Okay.
In terms of timeline, because my sign guys are gonna remove the frame that had the letters WDLM. They're gonna paint over that, and then they're gonna install the 2 blade signs. We'll need to wait for that to be done before Andrew can work. So it's gonna be a couple weeks from now, and then probably we'll need to figure out a time for you to come by.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine. I think there's like a stipulation in the application that says something about like 60 days to complete from like awarding or something like that. Is that right? I'd have to go back and double check it, but there is some stipulation in there about when it needs to be completed? Or is it just by end of calendar year for the award?
I don't remember exactly. There is stipulation, but you are not in,
Yeah.
you don't need to worry about that. In fact, after these guys vote on this, it would then still have to go to the city council as well. And they just had their meeting, so really it'll be next month before I can get in front of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds great.
Okay, so from what I remember, there's 2 different votes that have to happen. That we're voting to accept the application to move forward.
So
In
I
the
believe
concept.
you can word it as, that the motion to accept the application and send it to city council.
Yeah.
For approval, for final approval, and that's the grant application.
Okay,
And then you say the motion to approve the mural concept to send to city council for final approval, I believe.
And I think do we have to? I think we also have to include in the motion to accept the application, because it has to go to city council. And I think you have to include the dollar amount, right? Because
Yeah.
they have to vote, they vote on that. It's very,
If you say not to exceed.
yeah, not to exceed
$10K.
$10,000.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then the motion to accept the mural concept. But that also has to go to the city, right? Yeah, we're sending it as a package. Okay,
Yeah, so they've approved the,
Mural
Yeah.
grant application.
Yeah.
I think you could do it in one if you want.
okay, good.
Elmer's not here.
Yeah, I know it got super
freewheeling.
complicated that one time. Right, okay, all right. So, can I get a motion to accept the San Macha mural grant application and mural concept to send to city council, in which the mural grant would not exceed $10,000. That's a lot.
Motion.
That's all you had to say. Good, you didn't have to.
motion
Good.
as stated, yeah.
Motion as stated. Okay, thanks, Kelsey. Can I get a second?
Second motion?
Thank you, Angela. Is there any more discussion?
Yeah, exactly. I think it definitely bypasses previous concerns that we've expressed about art and it being, art for art's sake and not necessarily about the business. And I think that this kind of does that beautifully, but also still has those hallmarks of the culture and what the business is about, but in a way that I think satisfies what we're wanting out of public art for the city. So great job,
Yes,
you guys.
definitely. That's great. Okay, so all in favor of sending these to city council? Raise your hands. Okay, great. So unanimous. Well, great. Congratulations. And Tanisha will be in touch.
Yeah, so I will either actually present this in front of city council next month on the August agenda, or if we end up having a couple things, I may be able to do it as a memo to the council, and we can maybe make it happen, in a different way, but what we'll have to see.
Yeah, and just an update on my end, the landlord has the affidavit
Great,
in his hand, so he'll get that done as soon ASAP. And then we also plan to do a little social media content, like film him like painting and post it on our social as well. So we'll create more art out of
yeah,
just
that's
that
great.
project. So
And I believe in the application somewhere, we have if you do that, to please use the Public Arts Commission,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
yeah,
but,
the
you know,
hashtag
yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
Tag us,
it,
tag
yeah.
our
Tag us, yeah.
account, and if we can coordinate doing like a collaborative post
Yeah.
so that it can spread across.
I was going to say, do you guys have a filmmaker already?
It'll probably be done in a house.
My boyfriend works for TV and commercial, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
can give you his
Okay.
contact, yeah.
Sure.
He would love to.
And then once his art is done, then we'll probably do like a grand opening party with like other vendors, and we're gonna do like a market in the back and all that. So yeah, it'll be really cool. Appreciate.
When is
Thank
your
you so
timeline
Thank
for
you so
opening?
much. I'm so excited.
So
Yeah.
we just passed everything on the county level. I think we're just waiting on the watershed to give us like their letter, and then we should be able to get the OCT probably in any week, like next week, probably, hopefully, depending on how what's her name, Antoinette.
Oh, yeah.
How fast she works. She's pretty fast, so.
All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
We're excited, and
Yeah.
we're gonna have you on Buford Highway.
I know.
Y'all should come by.
We
I'm-
will, we
I'll
definitely,
be there.
City Hall badge or something.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll be there for sure.
Thank you,
That's
guys.
great. Thank you. Thanks so much.
All right, let's get back. Okay, liaison report. Hello, Jeremy. So Chalk Walk is moving and grooving, which is great, because I know we were kind of waiting on that, so we've got a lot to do for Chalk Walk. The vendor app is up on Event Hub, so you can check that out. Unfortunately, one aspect of the event planning that we lost by switching to Event Hub, which I was actually going to use this year, is our old one used to allow us to set up like a panel voting thing for vendors, and this one doesn't have that. And I actually would have used it this year because I need some help, but that's okay. So we already have 31 vendors approved, which is awesome. And the first invoice, I believe, has been paid. It was in the system. I believe it's been paid, and the contract is still with the city manager, but we are moving forward. So if everybody could, those who are not going to be vendors, if you could plan on coming to help that morning early would be awesome. So that's September 12th. Any questions about Chalk Walk?
Are we still putting out the call for buskers? I know we had conversation about that.
That is up, and we have one or two so far.
Okay, so we definitely need to help promote that.
Yes.
Okay, I was
as
gonna
a
say,
team.
is there a
Yes.
formal application process for that?
There is, it's
Yeah.
on Event Hub.
same.
So if
Okay.
you go back to where you signed up, did you sign up?
Not this year, I'm thinking about it still.
Okay, well, I think I sent you a link,
You
though,
did,
right?
yes.
If you go to that, on the left, there's like a Friends of Chambly, a regular vendor, and then a busker
Okay.
one.
Okay, cool, thank you. Can I ask you a question about that too? So my boyfriend, video camera, he's wanting to do, have you seen those booths where people set up like a photo studio
Yes.
essentially? He's thinking about, not something you guys are interested
Oh, I think
in?
that's fine.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, but.
Photography is art.
I don't know, I haven't seen those.
It's like they set up like literally a like photo booth. They have a backdrop and everything.
Yeah.
You pay $20, $25 and they come take headshots or portraits or dog
Oh, yeah.
photos or something. You're fine?
And you're saying do that at the Chalk Walk?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
just like.
just keep it artsy.
Yeah.
As a vendor.
And you already have somebody in mind for that?
My boyfriend. My boyfriend.
He's interested in applying as a vendor,
Yeah.
and that would be his booth concept, is what she was saying.
All right. I've been waiting to give you guys this update for a while. So we talked about this a long time ago where the red was coming off of our beautiful sculpture signage. They did come out and replace all of these with a new, they worked with their original manufacturer vendor to figure out why the red paint wasn't sticking. They ended up changing the sign a little bit, just materials wise. And they're all back out and should be looking good. I do need to go around and kind of keep tabs on them just to make sure that we don't run into the same issue, but they are out.
That's great.
Yeah. And then the Arts Master Plan, a lot has happened on this. So last week, I believe it was, the team that we had hired actually came out to Georgia. They flew into Georgia, came to Chambly, and I gave them a almost all-day tour of Chambly Public Art and different Chambly things. We had lunch and just talked about public art, so that's great. They are in charge of a lot of this, including stakeholder interviews, which they've done a lot of. I believe we maybe have 4 people who have not responded yet, but everyone else has already done their interviews, which is awesome. And then during Chalk Walk, they're going to come back. They're going to fly back here and do community outreach during Chalk Walk.
Great, that sounds great.
Yeah. So we're happy about that. And then the community survey, which I have been working on with them for a while now, is ready. We are going to push it out probably next week. So we have everything pretty much done on that. It's really just minor tweaks at this point and getting the QR code and things like that out there. So the survey, I think, is going to be wonderful. It's the way they set it up is, I think it's going to give us a lot of really good information. And like I said, they're going to be here at Chalk Walk, so they'll have that QR code, like, please take this, you know, maybe we can figure out something like a little giveaway kind of thing for people who fill it out.
Do you know what the timeline will be for them accepting input on the survey?
I imagine it's going to close soon after Chalk Walk, like, but it's going to open, so next week. So we'll have all of August.
August
And
and
then
mid-September,
half of
so about
September.
6 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
How long will the survey take itself to fill out?
It doesn't take long.
Yeah. So people at Chalk Walk, if they're.
Could definitely do it.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. I want to say it's like, it's not, you know, I know that like 10 and under questions is kind of a gold star. It's, I would say it's 10 and under pages, because each page has kind of like a, you know, a slider and a choose an image and things like that. So it's sort of, it's not just straight questions.
Got it.
Do we know what kind of like anticipated amount of time we would expect someone to spend on answering the survey?
I mean, maybe 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay. And do we have a distribution plan for encouraging as many people as possible to fill out the survey?
Yeah, we're going to, so it's already going in the Signal
Okay.
right away. It'll likely go on any physical flyers and stuff that we have moving forward, you know, for, I don't know, we could put it on Chalk Walk and things like that, like come be part of it or do it from here. And then Sproul said that they would be part of it and put it in their newsletter, which is great. And then maybe we could get Chamblee City Lifestyle to pick up on it. And of course, it'll go out on any city social media and things like that.
When will this be launched?
I think next week.
And how can we see this now? Or is it not ready?
I don't have the live
Okay.
version. I have like the editor's version, which I'm probably not supposed to share.
Is it one of those that like you require your email in order to?
No. There is an option. It says if you want to stay
In touch,
involved,
yeah.
leave your email, and then there's also an optional, what's that called, like race, age kind of questions, but it's all
Demographics.
optional.
I guess if you're encouraging like a promotional type of thing, you know what I'm saying? Maybe even like day of Chalk Walk or something like that. Like
Yeah.
people who fill it out that day get a ticket or something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Any other questions on Arts Master Plan? All right, so old business, we've got Wild Aster Books, and unfortunately, I thought they were gonna come, but we can talk about it without them. So they were here, this is the same group that came in April and talked to us, and they ended up going back to the drawing board because their artists had been using AI. So they resubmitted with an artist named Dusty Kramer, and he's actually a tattoo artist, but he did if you've ever been inside of Wild Aster, you've seen their mural up on the little stage. He did that one. So we've got everything from them, just waiting on the landlord affidavit. And they are asking for $5,000, and they will match it.
And which mural did you say he's already done?
So look on your screen, Jeremy. So this one on the left-hand
Oh,
side.
on inside?
Inside, there's a big mural, on the stage there. And so here's examples of his, current work. And I'm going to show you some, his concept as well. They're going for this color scheme.
You can see the colors better if you look at
Oh,
the
up there.
monitors.
Yeah, so very, very naturalistic, organic color scheme. And then the concept, and I have, just so you know, I have this blown up in slides after this because it's a little hard to see. But it looks like basically fantasy themes, kind of like a Ant-Man on the left, some creatures. What'd you say? Dancing mushrooms.
The best kind.
The best kind. And so I got a little closer and kind of lightened it up to show some of the character work. So you got to kind of think about this and show what I showed as his finished work. And that's the other side. So kind of those themes in that style. And we had, in the past, we had talked about it, about the need to be aware that we don't want it to come off as a sign. And in my opinion, I do think they've done a good job with that, with the new concept. It's not like we're opening a book and seeing characters. It's more of just more of a fantasy theme.
Like a woodland.
Yeah, and I do think it suits his style as an artist for sure.
There's nothing recognizable
Nothing recognizable,
of,
yeah.
of a, fairy tale kind of thing that
Yeah.
we all would know.
It's not a big giant Pooh Bear or anything.
Right. I'm going to ask a administrative question, but the 5,000 grant matched, so that is 10,000 total? They're paying five. Oh, they're paying five. We pay five. Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay. Any questions,
It
anybody?
gives me very mellow mushroom vibes. I like it.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
I think it's fun.
Do you know if they were still planning to do the sign above, which was something separate?
That's a good question. We had talked about that at the last time, and I think we clarified that they need to figure that out with development or.
With,
Yeah,
with the
code,
sign
yeah.
permit people, right?
Yeah. So I think, one note that I would make in the motion is that I would like to ask one step further of a sketch for city council. I fear that city council would have a hard time imagining this.
Yeah.
I think because we're all creative people, we can see this and see his style and see the finished product. I think they might trip up on this a little bit.
Yeah.
He drew this as a tattoo artist.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I can see exactly what it is, but
right,
Yeah, it's
you're
just a
right, it needs to be
concept, yeah.
blockier and like more full if they're gonna approve it.
yeah.
There is something like really reverberating.
I know, that one is up really loud for some reason.
Yeah, when you spoke earlier, I was like, oh my God, stop.
Yeah, I was like, what's happening? Okay, oh, it's right here. There's my wording.
I mean, that was my version, I tried.
There's the wording right there. Okay.
So I would just add to that, Shan, approve the grant application and mural concept.
Yep.
Just add in that two words into that. You should be good.
Yeah, and I like the pending the receipt of the,
Yeah,
which we didn't say last time, but I
And I
think we're
think,
okay.
like on the previous one, we work in the amount into the motion.
that's right.
Not to exceed $5,000.
Yep.
Matched by, well, I don't know if we need to say matched in the motion, but, because the city's only for the
Right.
5K.
You could just say
so-
5K, yeah.
Yeah.
What, all outstanding application items and design requests, do I need to mention the tighter concept?
I think design request covers it. I'll
Okay.
email them and be specific.
Okay. Okay, so let us see here if I can get this out. Can I get a motion to approve the grant application and the mural design concept from Wild Aster Books?
Motion.
Sorry, I'm not finished, Kelsey. With the grant not to exceed $5,000 and pending the receipt of all outstanding application items and design requests and forwarding it to city council. Sorry, I messed that up a little bit. Do you want me to redo it? Okay.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you, Kelsey. Thank you, Jeremy. Are there any further discussions?
I think we're all just pleased to see that they kind of took our feedback on the concept and found a way to kind of thread that needle between the themes that they're hoping for that help tell the story and show that world, but also, as Jeremy distinctly put it in the last time we discussed this, being art for art's sake and being more in line with the kind of public art that we want.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brittany, for
2 murals, looking beautiful, happy. All right.
woohoo. Thank you. Thanks for saying that, because that is absolutely true. Okay, so all in favor of sending this on? Okay, great. Unanimous.
Okay, so this first agenda item under new business, we already did, so I'm going to move on from that and go to the 12+1 initiative, otherwise known as the DeKalb Cows. So I had mentioned this a couple months back, and we were not sure when this was going to kind of land on our table. It has landed, and we have a kind of a tight turnaround on it. So I'm going to walk through that. I emailed all this, and I also printed it out for you guys if you want to take it home and look at it, because I do think it's interesting. It's something we haven't done yet, so it's kind of nice to have it in front of us. So DeKalb County, the idea behind the initiative is that they're giving each of the DeKalb cities, which there are 12 of, a large cow, a life-size cow, and each city is in charge of having it painted in it doesn't have to be painted. Decorated, sure, in whatever theme or whatever way we would like, that we would like to see. We are in charge of the request for qualifications and so on. Really, they're kind of just handing us the cow, giving us a stipend, and telling us when the ribbon cutting is. So have it done by then. That's the concept here.
So it's one cow?
One cow
And
per city.
it's made of fiberglass?
Yes, fiberglass. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I saw it, but I didn't know, okay, sorry.
So it is large in person when you see it. But it does come fitted with a way to anchor it down, which is great. All that is kind of included. The man who makes these, the fiberglass gentleman, he has said that anybody can contact him and ask questions. If there's questions about materials, like let's say someone's going to bedazzle it, what kind of glue should be used on fiberglass? He's happy to answer questions, so that's great. And there's just some pre-art information there for the artists, a little project guide that they gave us. So each city will receive a $5,000 grant to support the project. The suggested artist fee is $3,000, with remaining $2,000 to support transportation, installation, and any ancillary costs. I had discussed with some of the members before this meeting about possibly using that full $5,000 for the artist, and then the PAC paying for ancillary costs. So if everybody's in agreement with that, I don't think we need to have a motion or anything. I think we can just kind
I
of.
like that,
Yeah,
because I was like $3,000.
it's not a lot, yeah. And I think someone would be happy with 5,000. Another thing that has been discussed quite a bit is how do we put out the RFQ in a way where we are getting people who live or have their art studio in Chamblee, so that this cow isn't being transported all over Georgia. So we're going to write that into the RFQ. And with that said, I do think there's a possibility, we have 2 artist studio buildings. It's possible that one of them will end up getting it, and that'll be a very easy delivery.
I was gonna say too, like maybe you just have it like delivered to a specific place and the artist has to come on site, because it does mention here that you can create like a community outreach, where did I see that? By having the cow being painted or created.
Like already outside.
Right, or it's somewhere that's accessible to the public.
Yeah, that's an idea. So one thing that I am a little stuck on, and that I can use everybody's help with, and why don't I have it here? Shoot. Well, I had my ideas, or what we've come up with so far for locations. We need to decide on a location pretty quickly, because I do think that city council might want a say in approving a location, which means that I need to get on that agenda, which will come out early. I'll have to get on it early August.
Yeah, I think we would be within that timeline, because there's, according to their timeline, their suggested timeline, they're saying between end of August and between 8/31 and 9/4, designate the location.
Yeah.
So that gives us, from today, a few weeks to get it on to the city council.
Yeah.
And if we need to like coordinate with whoever is, over the specific
Yeah.
locations we're considering. So I think we can do that today and maybe pinpoint maybe our top 2 location ideas and go from there.
So let me tell you some of the location ideas that have been popular in some way. DeKalb County Library in Chamblee. I think that's a great location. It would be seen from the road. I do worry that working with the library may introduce some scope creep as far as time goes.
As far as what goes?
Time.
I feel like because it's a DeKalb County
Initiative.
initiative, and it's being really championed by the DeKalb County CEO, as we can attest from her photo on her flyer. She is in it. And so I think that they could help if there's any slog in potentially getting DeKalb Library officials to
What
to
do
work
you
with
guys
us.
think about that idea, about that spot?
I like that. The library?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My other suggestion was Arrow Creek Park, which is over by Public Safety Building,
Yeah.
the police building on Buford Highway. And so those are my top 2 recommendations. If we're concerned about, the slog of potentially having to work with other entities, obviously Arrow Creek Park is city property, and that would be easy for us to navigate because it's a public park, so it's already within the department that Tanisha falls under, so I think that would be easy to navigate. And then, to me, the library makes a lot of sense. There's that great grassy area right to the right of the entrance. It's a very busy road. I think that could be a great way for us to establish a relationship with the library for future programming efforts, and maybe reach out and make it a whole thing with their Friends of the Library group and all of that good stuff. So I'm a proponent of those 2 locations, for sure.
Could we propose a couple different places and have them like X-nay or yes on them?
I think so. I think,
Because they're all good. They're all good suggestions, and depending on how the cow turns out, what it looks like,
Yeah.
maybe it fits one location better.
my thought was that, depending on what we said here tonight, that I could then go back and reach out to, talk to Jody about Arrow Creek, talk to the library. a third option, see kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say it this way, but maybe like kind of score them on feasibility, and then make a suggestion, make a staff recommendation to city council with those backup options, and say that in the recommendation, these are our identified backups, so that we don't get slugged down with having to go through another cycle. That was my thought. Any ideas on a third option? I would love to see it somewhere on like Buford Highway, but of course, we don't have land.
I was gonna say Plaza Fiesta, I know is very pro-art
Yeah.
mural type thing, so I think they would welcome it
Maybe in
and
the
around
back
their
or
area.
something, yeah.
There's that whole new, what's that grocery store that just opened?
Talpa.
Talba, yeah.
That's why I suggested Arrow Creek, because it is on Buford Highway, and I think they get a lot of the folks who live along Buford Highway coming
Yeah.
over there to use the facilities
I
there.
just don't
And
know-
there's no art in there, except for the mural that's on the police building.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in the park itself that is like artistic.
The only reason I hesitate on that one is you wouldn't be able to see it from the road, which is fine, but this is a big, it's kind of like big and flashy maybe. You wouldn't be able to see it from the road, and that park is supposed to be an adult recreation park. That's why there's no playground or anything on it. Not that a cow has to be recreation or fun. It can be very
It's not,
serious,
It's art, it's decorative.
very serious cow.
Also, adults can be unserious people, so we can have an unserious cow.
Well, also, the very first thing that came to mind was over there by the caboose, the ice cream caboose place, because that's already a funny, what?
I love that idea, and that was my first idea too. We have tried to put art over there a number of times. That land is owned by a landlord who owns a good track. There is a tiny little part where Keep Chambly Beautiful had put a bench, and so everyone had assumed that they had figured out that there was a piece of city property there. But when I tried to find that out for the Little Free Art Gallery, I could not find evidence of that anywhere. So as far as I know, we don't have a way to put it over there.
I also would just like to say, we have so much art that is in this like downtown corridor is kind of what I call it. From here down to the Babe Walls murals, where you can enter onto the rail trail off of this road. And so I would just really love to see it maybe be further afield in somewhere in Chambly. So that's why I had recommended those two particular places.
I also kind of feel the same with Plaza Fiesta. There's so much visual stuff happening there that I kind of feel like, the cow might get lost,
The
depending
other
on
thing
where it was.
that came to mind for like a completely dead, ugly area was, I don't know if it's our area either, over by the CDC.
Yes.
That place is, I don't know if there's anything over there, but every time I drive by there, I'm like, there's nothing here, So I thought that would be cool, but I'm trying to think like where that would
Yeah.
go, and it would just be like in front of some trees,
But I also feel like the library, in many ways, fits that bill, because that stretch of Claremont, there's nothing on that stretch of Claremont. Yeah, it's like, there's not really anything, and I could imagine, and I go up and down Claremont all the time, so coming from, like Dresden, and seeing the cow right in front of the library, that would be like kind of almost like another gateway mural in a way.
Well, the interesting thing too about doing it at the library is that there has always been this idea that the park across the street, Claremont Park, which is not widely used, could eventually be a sculpture park. And that idea has kind of floated around in Parks and Rec for a while. The reason it's never really moved forward or hasn't moved forward quickly is because there's no parking there. So there really needs to be kind of a plan for parking, or, it's not an easy concept, but that would be interesting to have the cow across the street if that does become a sculpture park one day.
There's also, now that you said that, across from PDK, I live right there on Beaufort and Claremont, and right across from PDK, there's this like empty, gravelly, like parking lot area, and it leads into like a walking path that connects to a neighborhood. Yeah, So that actually is,
That's actually Brookhaven.
just kidding.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. It's a very strange little, yeah, that's interesting.
Is there been an issue in the past with people climbing on the cows and stuff like that?
That is a concern.
Huh?
That is a concern.
I mean, if I saw a cow, I'd want to sit on it.
I mean, it's 7 foot tall, right? No, it's only 5 foot tall, just kidding. I was like, if it's 7 foot, there is no little kid getting up on that.
I was thinking 7 too, but yeah, 5.
I think we all thought it was 7 initially. We need to read more closely.
My other thought about location, and I don't have any specific place in mind, but, you know, a couple of years ago, we placed a couple of sculpture pieces along the rail trail. And if there's a place further, maybe there's a spot further afield along the rail trail that's outside of this corridor between here and Babe Walls, further along the trail, maybe we can identify a spot there, and that would be city property again, an easy a place to establish.
So I did have that on my list. Unfortunately, the spot where people think it would be easiest to do it is on that new concrete pad by Babe Walls. Where, remember, it used to be wood, and during Babe Walls, or not during Babe Walls, last winter, someone drove through it.
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
They
Where
replaced-
the piano used to be, or in that general area.
Yeah, but further down towards the tunnel, the Babe Walls tunnel.
Oh, okay.
That would be an incredibly easy place to do this.
How many people see it?
I mean,
really?
everybody who sees the murals.
If you're walking along the rail trail,
Yeah.
you'll see it, but.
So I guess I would recommend, let's say, if we like the library first because of visibility and it being in a place where there's not much public art already, and that like idea of establishing a relationship with another entity within our community that we could work with in the future, and being further afield from the clustered art that we have here. So I would vote for that maybe being our first choice, our top choice, with, you know, maybe option B is over by Babe Walls because of just ease of being able to place it there. But I guess maybe we weigh, like, what would be more visible there or Arrow Creek? I feel like, because both are not seen from a road, right? And so you're relying on park traffic at Arrow Creek or the pedestrian traffic on the rail trail. So I feel like that's kind of equivalent. And if that's the case, then I would vote for option B to be Arrow Creek Park if the visibility is equivalent, because Arrow Creek Park, again, in a place where there's not a lot of public art already, and we can, you know, branch out within the city. And then option 3 being the Babe Walls spot along the rail trail. That's just my suggestions.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm looking at Arrow Creek on maps, which I realize is not, you know, the best way to do this, but I'm gonna see if I can there's a grassy area right when you pull in, but I don't know if it is a hill. It looks like,
Yeah, I was thinking kind of close to where the dog park
Yeah.
enclosures are, just like maybe right in front there, but, you know, we could always take a little field trip over there if we wanted to as
Yeah.
a group and identify a couple of different spots that could potentially
Yeah.
work.
it definitely looks like it's a slope, a little bit of a slope, but I can't tell how much.
Yeah, you can see the parking lot from the street, but you can't see much of the park from the road because of that slope.
Yeah.
Because I drive up and down, that's my daily commute is up and down past Arrow Creek and the police building. So.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, but this is helpful. I think that's probably all I need. I'll take that list and I'll reach out to the appropriate people and kind of get like a little feasibility on that, and I'll just plan on if all of these are okay.
Are we in agreement that's a
Yeah, are we
good
in alignment?
ranking
Sorry.
of locations?
Do we agree? Yeah.
Okay. So library is number 1, Arrow Creek number 2, and then on the rail trail by Babe Walls is number 3. Okay.
just making sure they don't have any issue with any of those locations, yeah.
We do have an open seat on PAC. That is live on the website. If you know anyone who is interested, please let them know that we do have a pretty tight turnaround for this. This is another thing that will be going on the August City Council agenda. So I'll need to have all applications redacted by then. So if you know anyone who's interested, just let them know if they could get it in by maybe next week would be great.
Do we currently have any applicants?
We do, we have 3, I believe. And then plus anyone who applied for this year who wasn't chosen, I will put back in the pool. All right, Chamblee Gateway mural. This is a big project this year that we have, that we are moving ahead on now. This mural, I'm just going to show you guys real quick the picture so that you know what I'm talking about. So this mural was originally a three-part project. It was commissioned by the Idea Art Gallery, which I believe does not exist anymore, the City of Chamblee, and MARTA, and this was back in 2016. We had an intergovernmental agreement with MARTA, which has expired, unfortunately, so we will have to recreate that. MARTA is fully on board. They have, all that they have asked is that they have kind of last say on any possible changes if something, kind of goes against MARTA branding or something. So here's kind of my to-do list for that. In order to get that intergovernmental agreement, again, we have to do a scope of work, installation plan, safety plan, and all SDS pages for the products that will be used. So we, own the concept, but MARTA has last say. We had originally budgeted $30,000 for this. MARTA is kicking in $5,000. This is a healthy budget, but like I said before the meeting, I did park in front of it the other day, and it's a little bigger than I remembered. It's a big wall. 250 feet, thank you. Thank you. 250 feet, I'm writing that down, okay.
And Chris, how many square feet?
So it tapers, but it's like between 12 and 14. So
Sorry, everybody. Has Chris introduced himself yet? This is
Well,
Chris
we
right
kind
here.
of put him on the spot earlier.
Would you come up to the mic so that the people at home can hear you?
yeah, so I measured it with my little walking wheel. It's about 14 foot tall, 250 feet. So that is 14 times 250. So it's 3,500 square foot. So it's big. It seems small because it goes on for a while and has kind of a low profile, but it's a fairly big, fairly big wall, I would say. Yeah.
Can I ask a demo, is this the picture of it?
Sorry, that's a picture from, right after it was done, so it's a lot more faded now.
Is that a sidewalk in front of it, or is that directly against the road?
It's directly against the road, which has made it very difficult for cleaning and maintenance.
It's the road that runs down behind Whole Foods,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it comes out right there at Lowe's at that red light.
right.
And so there's no sidewalk, it just runs right there. It's like a super long wall.
So at our current budget, that comes out, and this is, that comes out to $10 per square foot. And that's without anything else that we may need.
Right.
And do we have any, what is standard kind of pricing per square foot for murals?
It starts at about 20 in Atlanta.
I was gonna say, just thinking about the amount of paint that's needed
Yeah.
for a square foot is a can, it's
Yeah.
like, if that's what you use.
We did go, for Babe Walls, because we did so many in a short amount of time, we did dip down into, I think, probably $16 to $18 per square foot, which was a good deal.
Chris, you don't have to stand there all the whole time.
That's why I was asking about square footage, is because I know what the going rate is for muralists, and you're right, it's around $20 per square foot. And again, that wall is like super long. It doesn't look big because it's short, but it's really long.
It's just long.
So let me say this, and I'm saying this as a question. I don't know the answer to this. Whoever is the artist that we choose to do this, could we allow them to apply for the grant?
Say that again?
Could we propose that the person who is chosen to do this, or it could be part of the RFQ, I guess, could we have them apply for the grant as well on top of it?
I feel like that just adds complexity, whereas
It does,
we
but
just
it
need
frees
to-
up $10,000.
Well, I think that we just need to,
We
I
can
think
just-
that we run our own budget, so I mean, we can say, and we already know, we're so close to the end of the calendar
Yeah.
year that the 50,000 that we had set aside for the matching mural program, it is unlikely that we're gonna use all of that. We have 2 active applications right now.
15,000,
That, 50,000?
15. For the
Right,
two,
out of the 50 that
Out of the
we
50.
had set aside or
Yeah.
earmarked for that. So if we say we want to maybe hold another 10 just in case we get another application before the end of the calendar year, I think that would be a reasonable thing
Yeah.
that we could do. And
We just
then
reallocate.
move those funds to this project so that it is more in line with what is the standard going rate for something of this magnitude? Because at $20 a square foot, that's a $70,000 project.
and also, we might set a precedent if we do something like that.
How much do we pay the Babe Walls? Artists.
So that one's a little complicated because it was in partnership with a nonprofit. The nonprofit, we paid the nonprofit, I believe, $95,000 to manage bringing in all those artists and paying the artists. So I think the payment structure was different compared to, depending on the artist's status and things like that. But what it came out to, and I can pull up this number exactly, we figured out basically what we paid per what square footage we had of murals afterwards. And we did get a deal. It came to like, $16, $18 per square foot is what I remember.
Yeah.
But we usually do pay, for murals like the Marta mural, things like that, it's usually somewhere around $20, $22 per square foot. I think I said per hour, per square foot.
So what would be the process in like finding the artists and starting this project?
So I think what we would do is an RFQ, which means we would know our price, and we would put it out, basically asking anyone to give us examples of their work. We could ask for a concept. We would basically be saying, we're going to give you this much, what can you do with this wall?
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I don't want to split hairs, but I don't know if that's RFQ versus RFP, which is request for proposal versus just their qualifications.
Well, I think request for proposal is when you're not giving a budget. They tell you how much it is.
Okay, gotcha, okay.
I think that's the difference.
Yeah, we can sort that out and see what makes sense, but, go ahead.
Is it not possible for us to decide a concept and then decide what we want artists to do?
We could definitely do that, and we don't usually do that, and I think that'd be a fun way to do it, especially if, that mural has always been called the Gateway, Chambly Gateway. So to sort of think about that, if you could think of history or whatever, representative of Chambly, if we wanted to do something like that, I think that's a cool idea.
That might be helpful with the timeline too, because we need to have this completed by the end of the calendar year to be able to utilize our budget for this. So if we set a concept and then the artists already know that in advance when they're submitting their application, and then we kind of are able to shave off a little bit of the brainstorming and conceptualization and time and go straight into design.
I agree. I think that if we had a bunch of artists trying to figure out what a concept's gonna be, then we're gonna be bouncing it back and forth, trying to figure it out. But if we know exactly what we want and we're asking a few artists, hey, this is what we're looking for, then it'd be easier for them to design something to fit our needs. And because we know exactly what we want at that point.
Do we want to just kind of leave this for now and say, if you have any ideas on concepts or themes, to maybe email me and maybe we can kind of bounce it around via email? So that we don't have to wait until next meeting to.
Well, I was thinking, I mean, I think that this falls very nicely and neatly into the PAC tasks.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like we need someone to spearhead the project, a PAC person to spearhead that project, and they can have like a vice spearhead person, whatever you call that. Anyway, but just, you know, a couple of people to sort of spearhead that and maybe even start concepting and then present to, you know, the rest of us. I mean, that, what do you guys think?
I like that. I mean, I'd be willing to help any way I can. I do think it's a gateway to Chamblee, so I think it needs to be Chamblee themed. I mean, I would say that would probably be our concept that I would want to start with.
So
But
I
yes,
guess
I'm
my-
willing to do whatever.
How far of a concept are we talking? Like, are we talking theme, or are we talking a concept with visuals?
I mean, I think saying a theme would be basically, how well can you draw this thing that we want? You know, I don't think that's what we're saying. I think what we're saying is, hey, we want this wall to be the gateway to Chamblee, kind of the theme that it already is, but let's change it up and make it something fresh, you know. Let's make sure that it represents Chamblee. People know that they're coming into Chamblee.
Yeah, I just don't want to see like railroad tracks and, you know, the same old tired thing that I think we've seen on a lot of our older stuff. I think however we can encourage like a fresh new take on what Chamblee is.
But that's
Okay,
part
well,
of
that's
an
how we do our
RFP,
research and we
though.
figure out like all the history of Chamblee and like
Okay.
what that would be.
But that's what goes into an RFP, basically, is a scope, and the scope is the theme. So we don't really have to come up with any visuals then,
Well, are
is
we-
what I'm saying, is
Yeah.
what I'm hearing.
We're totally dead set on having one particular artist do this.
Keep going.
My thought is. I do, sorry. We're stuck on one particular, I'm thinking like a theme, Chamblee, mixing pot, have a bunch of artists come do a portrait, and then we just paint the background solid, right? So we pay like $2,000 for somebody to do a big headshot of somebody, you know, and then just have that line the wall. And then we're not stuck on somebody doing so much square footage. We break up the cost between a bunch of different artists, you know what I'm saying? Or a flower or something like that, just something that's more representative of the melting pot that Chamblee is.
So kind of like what Bay Balls ended up being.
That's what I was thinking, you know? But,
Like a mural fest, doing the same thing like a group.
well, also, I mean, if it's right on the road, we're gonna have police officers shut it down and like navigate traffic and everything. And if we do it kind of more in a consolidated timeline, I think that will save a lot of expenses for the police to manage that as well. So I think time is critical with that as well. And if we're trying to get it done before the end of the year, it saves on a lot of that. Just a suggestion, not set on it, just.
I actually had, when we did our ideas for submitted our ideas, that was one of the ideas, is like, you know, having another mural fest. I will always push for local artists, you know, so I would, you know, encourage, and I know a lot of muralists in Atlanta, so I'd also help in that any way I could with that.
That's what I'm thinking too, like, I don't know, somebody's grandmother who lived in Chamblee their whole life, you know, it's just a portrait of a person that, you know, represents the city, whether or not, you know, anybody else is gonna know who that is or whatever. It's just a quick concept that I thought.
And then I think also, I think what what Shan was getting at about someone spearheading this from this group is it's almost like a project management role to help make sure we're hitting our milestones in order for this to get completed at a certain time, and thinking through all those things in advance, like the police and having to shut the road down. I hadn't even thought of that, but yes, absolutely, that's going to be required because there's no shoulder there. So I don't know if someone from the team is interested in volunteering themselves for that role, or if a couple of people want to tag team it.
Well, and I think, just backing up Tanisha, because Tanisha will have some part in that, but backing her up.
I was gonna say, I can do it if you give me the resources,
So we've got
Jeremy,
Kelsey.
I'd be willing to, and I have experience with project managing just because of the industry that I'm in, so I'm always planning events and stuff like that, so.
I don't like to see
However I
it.
can be helpful, let me know.
I'm gonna
Well, thank
call
you,
y'all
guys.
The
So it sounds like
PMs.
Jeremy and Kelsey will co-lead the project to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to support and make sure that this gets completed. And then whatever decisions we need to make about budget and concept and the RFQ and all of those things, I think they can bring back to this group. We either have those conversations via email between meetings, or if things have to be voted on publicly, then bring them back to us in the next meeting.
Yep, that's a good plan, I think.
I can start out with a project plan and we can go from there.
Sounds good. Cool. All right, yay. That sounds great. Well, I'm concerned about the timing. I get nervous about timing. And,
I mean, we'd have to shut down the road, and then also the heat, right? And then also coordinating, if it is multiple people, all of those people, or if it is one person, that's gonna take that person a while unless they have a team.
right,
Yeah.
yep. Tanisha, are you okay with that plan?
Yeah, that's great. So what's needed from MARTA, or by MARTA, they sent me kind of an email with everything in it that's needed. So I kind of need to dig into that old agreement, update it, provide this stuff. So I think in the old agreement, and I can share this with you guys, there were things like scope of work, installation plan, blah, blah, blah. I think we just need to go in and update it with newer stuff and send it back over to them. And then we can take one of our old RFQs, RFPs, and just fuss with it until it's ready to go out. So that's something that you guys can help me with for sure.
And obviously, if there's any, I know you obviously have the direct connection with the
Yeah.
public art program at MARTA, but also just with
Yeah.
my role, I mean, I'm on the same floor with them. I see them and talk to them all the time, so I can help
Okay.
liaise or answer questions or anything in the
Perfect.
MARTA aspect of it.
Okay.
Awesome, thanks, everybody.
All right, so on this one, this is really Shan's deal, but I think we're not discussing this tonight. I'm just showing you that we have lots of ideas. That's what this screen is, lots of ideas.
Oh, sorry, some of these are from the
Years before.
spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get to them,
Yeah.
and so we wanted to, there were still good ideas.
So Shan, I don't know if you want to speak to this at all.
Yeah, oh, go ahead, Jeremy.
I'm sorry, I just want to ask a question, because I should have asked before I submitted any of my ideas. So if there's a building that's owned by somebody and we want to paint a mural there, we just go to them and say, hey, we were thinking about putting a mural on this wall, will you allow us? I mean, really? Oh, okay, because when I submitted my ideas, I was submitting ideas that I thought would have to be like city-owned, because I didn't know that privately owned buildings that we could just say, hey, can we paint a mural? I thought that they had to be part of the initiative.
It's much, much easier if it's city-owned. If it's not city-owned and someone, like we've had partnerships, right, like the the homeless,
St. Vincent de Paul?
St. Vincent de Paul, the mural that we did with them, we do not own that building, but they were one of our nonprofits. We worked with them, we paid for the mural. They gave us, I'm not gonna remember what it's called right now, but it's basically an agreement so that if we need to access the wall for any reason, that we have permission.
Yeah.
Good to know. I would have made a lot of other suggestions, but
Well, I mean, if we continue with the matching mural
Yeah.
grant program
Yeah.
in the future, any businesses that were on your like high-level list could absolutely kind of go up under that
Yeah.
program.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and
because
any-
one of my ideas was basically a mural match blitz where we all become marketers and we get out and we tell businesses that we have this opportunity. So that kind of falls in with your thoughts there.
I was actually saying the same thing today when I was talking to somebody. I was like, should just go around to all the businesses and say, hey, you got this big empty wall.
Yeah, and if you have a
Well-
muralist that you know, I mean, recommend them, you know?
Yeah, and what's also nice is that if we see a business and we're like, that's interesting, Tanisha has a way of finding who owns the building. Are they up to, are they up to date on their taxes? Do they have like all those things we need to know, we can already check those boxes before we even reach out to them.
And she could see if they're in the census tract, because
In
if
the
they're in the
census tract?
census tract, they don't have to have the match. We can
Yeah.
just say, we will pay for it, you just have to work with us. So,
And that's where those other rules come in, by the way, if we pay the whole thing. So, that we talked about. Yes, sorry. Yeah, so we do have lots of great ideas. Thank you, guys. So what we're gonna do is, okay. Yeah, I think, we're gonna take a look at some of those 2025 ideas that we had and highlight some, I'm gonna flip this a little bit. So, Tanisha is going to go through the ideas that we have, and she's gonna look at the feasibility of being able to do that within a year, within a 2-year time frame, or even within a 3-year time frame, because there are some really good ideas that we probably don't have the time to implement next year, but we would like to actually create a plan for 2027 and 2028. So she's going to look at the feasibility of those things. She's also going to do some educated guessing based on her experience with costs for some of those projects and events. And then we're going to take a look at, we're going to have a little smaller group. We're going to go through those 2025 ideas and bring some of them over. Some of them we know that we're not going to be able to do because we've already gone down a road with some of those ideas. So we're just going to pull over some that were still feasible. And then I'm going to send that back out to you guys via another form. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble reading that. And we will, I'm going to have you vote on them and rank them with your preferred, what you think is the most important, what you think you like the best. And then we're going to take that list and narrow it down a little further. We'll discuss them, but we'll narrow it down a little further to create our 2027 Project Hopeful list. Does that make sense? Okay. That was a lot of words.
once we have those ranked projects, even if we've got 1 through 20
Yeah.
ranked, once we know what our exact budget is for
Yep.
2027, then you can look at your rank list and see where do you need to cut it off. Can you do 10? Can you only do 5?
Yes.
So I think that the ranking is definitely the right way to do it.
Right. And this is going to help Tanisha when she's preparing the 2027 budget to present to the city council. And, we don't really have like a magic number. They don't give us a number. And we don't always know what that number is going to be. But it has averaged anywhere between 160 to 170,000 over the last few years. So we're gonna try to come in at that 170 number. If we go over a little bit, we'll see what happens. And, but we also have to remember that there's these annual events that we also like to do, like the Chalk Walk. And, you know, it might be worth considering putting in some of those annual events to see if we want to continue to do the annual events. Because, I mean, anything can happen, and maybe we're like, you know what, maybe this event, we might want to switch. We might want to pivot a little bit and do something a little different. So it might be worth that, adding those to that. So we can talk about that later. But that's how we'll do that, so that we can prepare that 2027 budget. And then those other things that we really liked, but maybe didn't make it into 2027, we can shift to like a 2028 timeframe. So we always have those ideas. They don't go away necessarily, unless, like, Jeremy, you were talking about this road out here, that mural, that really needs to have a bit of an update. But a lot of times the city is working on projects that we're not aware of. So that was actually on our list one year. And then Elmer was like, wait,
The
what?
Mr. Totem Wall that is
Yeah, and then
at American Way and
American Way.
Chamblee Dunwoody.
Yeah.
Under the
Chamblee-
bridge, yes.
Yeah, Chamblee Dunwoody, and yeah, it's under the bridge, maybe behind me. I don't know where it is, but anyway, but they're actually reworking that intersection. So they're reworking that intersection. It might even be a roundabout. We're not sure yet, but so there's no point in putting up brand new art that might have to come down. So sometimes those things happen.
And when is that project proposed to rework the intersection?
It originally was slated for 27. I don't know if that's still the project timeline. Originally, I want to say in 2025, when it came up on the budget discussion, Elmer said I would push this to 27. So we'll have to see when he's in next. We'll have to kind of ask about where that is.
I would also like
Yeah.
to say that whatever year we do put that project on our project list, I think that we need to be prepared to ask for a lot more funds, because that wall is massive times 2. Because that, if the painted part is only maybe a quarter of the entire space, and I think it would be phenomenal if we could do the entire wall on both sides, but that is a massive undertaking.
But also, if we knew that this was going to be 2028, we could, and the city allowed it, we could possibly do a grant for that specific project.
Right. Okay. Okay, great. Anyone have any questions about that plan? Okay.
Okay, so PACTAS, this is something that Brittany and Shan wanted me to start adding to every meeting. And this is what I came up with, and you guys are welcome to add to this. So my tasks for you guys are to keep out for action items needed from Shan on the budget ideas, to send the PAC seat application to those who are interested, and to get the word out about Chalk Walk and when it's available, the COW RFQ, RFP, and the Gateway Mural RFQ and RFP.
Where can we pick up the flyers for Chalk Walk?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Flyers for Chalk Walk?
I do not have those yet. I actually have someone who's doing community service with me and is designing this year's marketing for it. So hopefully I'll have that in hand soon. I did already, just because it was due and I didn't have anything yet, I did create an ad for Atlanta Parent already because it was due. But hopefully we'll have kind of, not necessarily new branding, because we're still using the same logo and colors, but it'll be refreshed.
Okay, let me know, because we can put some in the museum.
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy.
I just want to kind of touch on this in a little bit broader scope of why I asked for this to be added to our agenda on a ongoing basis, is that I kind of felt like we were not doing anything in between meetings. And it had been kind of becoming that way for a while, where, especially a good chunk of this year, it was, I gave zero thoughts about what was going on until meeting or the couple of days before meeting. I come in, I wait for Tanisha to give her liaison report update on everything, and I ask, what can we do for you? And then nothing really is needed or asked of us that was like specific and actionable, and then rinse and repeat. And it's definitely not a critique for you, Tanisha. I think it is just something that I would love for us to be able to course correct, so that the people who sit on this panel feel like they're really contributing more than just opinions. I mean, I'm sure we all love giving our opinions, I know I do. But I also want to be able to, like, I have contributed and I have helped move the art forward beyond just what I have to say. And so I just ask that as a group, we really think proactively about what can we be doing to help move all of these projects for this year, not just this year, but ongoing. What can we be doing between meetings to help move these projects along? So I would ask that of the commission members, is that we do that proactively, but then also, Tanisha, the ask is of you, can you articulate any clear, actionable requests that this team can help you achieve, such as you've done here on this particular slide. And then I think, before the meeting started, you had mentioned, and we talked a little bit about like project management for the Gateway mural. And so that kind of dovetails into this a bit, as Shan was pointing out. And then I think you also mentioned if there was maybe somebody who wanted to help do that for the cow. And so I would say, let's put that on there as well. So beyond these things is, project planning for the cow project, project planning for the Gateway mural project, and helping move all of those different pieces along, helping to get the word out for recruitment of buskers and artists for Chalk Walk is sort of like a little bit more granular than get the word out. Is like we need to help recruit artists for vendors and the artists who will be busking. And then after that point, we need to promote, the actual event so people will come to it. So those are sort of like A and B of the Chalk Walk, right?
Can I ask real quick, what kind of project plan are you expecting to see from the cow? So from this, I see a lot of it's already laid out, right? It's really just getting the RFP requests in?
Yeah, I think maybe Tanisha would look to you to say, like, what specifically do you need assistance with when it comes to the cow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at this point, because it's a sort of everything's happening at once very quickly. And so I think what I need is, eyeballs to look at this and to go, okay, well, if the city is starting the artist selection on 8/3, that means like what happens before that, right? We need to start looking at a past RFP, RFQ, figure out which one is appropriate, start making changes to that. I'm not sure. I can't imagine that if we made changes to one that it would have to go back through legal, but I would have to find, like, there may be questions like that would be nice to just see on paper, like, does this need to be approved?
I mean, if you want to, I can go ahead and prepare one, and then you can
That'd be
send it.
great.
Yeah, I mean, can you send me like a draft?
I can send you stuff, yeah.
Okay, yeah, just send me a draft and I'll write it up.
Okay.
So
Thanks,
let me,
Kelsey.
can I say something? All right, so I can help move the cow if it needs to go transport anywhere, have a box truck with a lift. I can help with any kind of project planning, because that's what I do. I know a lot of artists too, so I can help get artists to apply for certain projects. And any kind of help with promotion, I know about that, so I can help. And if the museum can be involved with like helping promote, all I need is flyers and information.
Kind of extending on your point a little bit, we had like a couple of 15-minute meetings earlier this year. They were real quick, just bam, 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 get it done, and then all of a sudden we have like
Yeah, now
all
it's
this
like,
stuff.
wow.
Yeah.
Right, and
Everything all at
I want
once.
to actually speak to that a little bit too, because I'm not sure if that news that Jody had emailed out to Shan and me had made it to the rest of the group, because we're talking about 2027 budget. But if you guys remember previous conversations about 2026, we were kind of on hold with some spending as directed by city management, who were directed by city council. And then we found out from Jody, who was able to get that clarity from city management, that we now are cleared to move forward for spending the rest of our 2026 budget. So that's where it was like full steam ahead with Chalk Walk, full steam ahead with the Gateway mural, and then, oh, cool, DeKalb wants to give us a cow, awesome, and we've got a little extra money to help pony up against that. So just FYI, like, that is what led to such a previous agendas being light, and then now kind of all chunked up together. So I think we all just need to be prepared to kind of dig in and help achieve
Yeah.
a lot of stuff in a truncated timeline.
Yes, definitely. Angela, you keep doing,
I just wanted to say, if you guys needed help with anything graphic design related, that's what I do. So anything with that, I'd be more than happy to give a hand.
and also, I just want to toss in too that Chalk Walk is a really big lift for the city, or for, for Tanisha and for the parks people. So if there is any kind of volunteering that you can do for Chalk Walk specifically for in the morning, where we kind of load people in, and there's a lot of activity that's happening, we need some people to help there. Tanisha also chalks out the spaces for the vendors and the artists? Oh, that's just the vendors, okay. And she generally will do that on the day before, but it takes her a long time to do. So please, if you've got some time on the Friday the 11th and the morning of the 12th in particular, that would be great. And, consider volunteering to help Tanisha and the group out.
And if you have like a wife or a husband or a sister or brother.
Yeah, I always volunteer my husband too.
If you want to voluntold anybody, we are open, and I'll get that volunteer registration out as soon as possible. Honestly, I forgot.
Hey, that's fine, to be honest.
Are vendor applications still open for the Chalk Walk?
Yep.
Okay, I got my.
And performers as well. And for you, since you sit on a commission, you can use the Friends of Chambly one that I sent out.
I was also just thinking, this might help grease the wheels with the library, is if we could offer like tabling space for the Friends of, the Friends of the Library group, they have like book sales and stuff to help support the library. And if we gave them booth space or table space to allow them to do something along those lines, I think that could kind of help with maybe building that relationship around the cow and such.
The artwork begins on the cows like right over the period of time that Chalk Walk is happening too. Just throwing that out there.
Live painting of the cow at Chalk Walk? Hey, I love it.
Now, oh, sorry, this is me, right? Now we have time for public comment. Anyone here? Chris, would you like to come up and say anything else? Oh, great.
Hey, everyone. I'm Chris. I own a mural company. I'm a muralist. Chris makes art. My girlfriend, she's a professor at Oglethorpe near here, but also she runs the vendor markets for the Highlands, for Summerfest and Porch Fest and stuff like that, so has experience with like activating and dealing with vendors and all the things that you're sort of seem to be speaking about. I'm friends with Jeremy, who owns the Oddities Museum. Oh, sorry.
That's fine.
But yeah, he was telling me about this arts council. I know Andrew. It's cool to see him. It's cool to see that the city of Chambly is interested in activating the spaces and beautifying things and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I was just curious to come here today to hear more about the projects that are coming. I knew about the cows and the Gateway project. I think those are all very cool. I know a lot of the artists who painted at Babe Walls. And yeah, so I just wanted to find more information out and help out in any way.
We have an open seat.
What's that?
We have an open seat.
I live in Decatur, it'd be a little bit of a hike, but I do like all the food out here. But Jeremy told me about the Gateway mural. I think it's a good opportunity to sort of showcase that wall and also show that you're trying to sort of revamp the city and show stuff. And you know, I myself, for the past 2 years, have curated mural festivals. I did Crossroads Mural Festival, and then I did the Drip Invitational with 75 and 50 artists, vendors, and all that sort of stuff, and dealing with, you know, street closures and all the things that have to happen to sort of orchestrate this stuff. So, you know, ultimately, whatever happens, happens, but if there's a way I can help with any of the art curation or installs or whatever, I'd love to help. And I think that artists in general are very much willing to donate their time. The one thing I would bring up that I see from cities doing was some of the RFPs and the RFQs. So you will get all these designs for, let's say you're doing one artist who's going to submit for the Gateway, and you get 150 submissions. That is, if you collect all the volunteer hours of people who are kind of, you know, giving all these designs and everything up, only one person gets picked, and then all those kind of volunteer hours disappear into the ether, you know? All their submissions never get showcased or anything like that. And, you know, maybe consider there's a way to be creative about asking people to donate their time. Because, you know, what if you took, I don't know, if somebody spent 2 days drawing something, what if you had 2,000, 3,000 volunteer hours that you could dedicate towards all sorts of stuff, instead of just like having all these people donate their time and it doesn't end up being anything. Yeah, other than that, I think all these art projects are really cool. It's a great way to activate the city, and I'd love to help in any way I could. So that's it.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks. That's really good points.
So I'd like to say, and this isn't just about Chris, but, you know, I joined on this because I'm passionate about art, and that's how I got started in doing anything that I ever do. And I had reached out to Chris, just talking to him about, you know, murals and stuff like that, and he came up, and he actually, without me being with him, he took the initiative to go around, took pictures of walls and stuff that he thought was interesting for murals, and then he did mention the wall that is now, you know, behind, what's the project? Gateway. Yeah, Gateway. So he had mentioned that wall, and then we actually took a field trip together and went look at Babe Walls, and he does know a lot of those artists. But anyway, I was asking just Chris some information, and that's why he came today, because he just wanted to join in and see what we're doing and what we're up to.
Thank you so much. We don't normally have people just come hang out with us, so I appreciate that. Yeah, that's great. Well, and those are all really good points, and thank you for measuring that wall for us.
A little wheel roller. It's nice to get up there and see it, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Okay, so that was, wow, yeah, I think that was a record for the year. For this year. Yeah. And I know, we had a lot to talk about tonight. Okay, so can I get is there any more discussion? Any more questions or anything else that we would like to talk about? Jeremy, why are you looking? You got look. I thought you were like mulling something over. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
In a second?
Second.
Any discussion on adjourning? All in favor, raise your hands. Okay, great, unanimous, and we will see you in August. There we go, August 27th. Put that on your calendar. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, I'm sorry for being late. I don't know what, I was thinking 6:30 for some reason. I was sitting in the parking lot on the phone. Yeah, sorry,